Hello guys, this is Paula, and I'm going to straighten the camera just a little bit. Didn't want to shock you. I'm here today. I've got we're going to collage in the book, in our book that we're working on, but I also want to show you my new digitals. So I'm just starting out with a couple, but I've got a whole lot more lined up, not just this type, but other types as well, laces and trims. I'm also going to do vintage photos, vintage, old vintage papers and letters, and I also will be doing, I just lost my train of thought, trims, doilies, all kinds of doilies and laces and embroidery, and just things that you can collage with and have lots of fun. Now, I know this collaging thing has gotten really big, and I had been doing it for years, but not to this degree. So, hopefully this can get you started, and you'll enjoy it. So I thought I'd start off kind of simple, not like, plain or anything, but some of the things that I would like to collage is what I want to show you. This first one is a set of 4. Okay, and I'm going to hold it up a little bit. It's a set of 4. I only printed it on white cardstock. You can print it any way you like. I mean, I've printed it on paper and used it. I've printed it on other things. So I'm calling this first set Seasons. And you're probably looking at this thinking, what is it about a season? Well, I'm going to bring it up so you can read, and hopefully it's clear. It has the store name, Renewed and Crafted for You, which is on Etsy. And this says Spring Quilt. I worked really hard on these. This is not cardstock you're looking at. This is actual fabrics that were stitched on. If you look, you can see the stitching. And put together like a quilt my mom would have made. And so I have thought about her through this whole process of developing these quilts. So we have the spring quilt. Okay, nice pastels. And then we have the summer quilt. Oh, I've got it upside down, sorry. Here's where it says summer quilt. It just looks hot and fiery, doesn't it? And then we have the autumn or fall quilt. This fabric is super, every bit of this fabric on the fall quilt is super vintage. I don't know if you can tell that by looking, but it's old, and I don't use it for just anything. But I brought it out. Oh, I did have a couple, the solids like this are Tim Holtz, because his look so old and rugged. I thought they would work great, and I used brown thread on this one. So, this is fall or autumn, whichever you choose. Now, I know these colors are brighter and not as muted as some things you see, but that's my kind of personality. I'm kind of into bright. I didn't ink everything because I wanted you to have that choice. Now, here is winter. You're probably thinking, what's the big deal about winter? Well, I don't know, but this was the ones I was kind of led to for winter. You got the cold, which is blue. You've got the boring, which is winter. So I just kind of put a different type of fabric on these, and a lot of these. This is vintage, this is vintage, 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 believe it or not. That's vintage, and so is that one. The majority, I mean 75 to 80% are vintage. So I hope you'll go on my Etsy shop and look at seasons and try them if you can. Appreciate it if you would. All right, so the next set is Collage tear paper. Okay, and so this one's a little different. It is, let me make sure I've got it up right. It's a collage kit, okay, and there's 5 in this set, and I'm making all of these very reasonable. So I started working on these a long time ago, and before I ever decided I would put them on my Etsy, or in my Etsy shop, because I wanted them for myself. And then the more I did, the more I was like, I like these. I'd like to share them with people, you know. So this is number 1 out of 5. This is number 2 out of 5. Now this looks really bright. And it is because I didn't make it, like this is a doily. It's hard to tell from this distance, but yeah, I just free-handed this little box. Instead of making it a box, I'm calling it a label. This came out of a very old magazine. This is just a scallop that I wanted to add on there, and there's lace and, you know, just different things. So this is number 2 out of 5. Okay. This is number 3 out of 5. Now, in this, there is tons of vintage stuff, okay? First of all, these articles here from 1946, they came out of very old, worn, Better Homes and Gardens. This just came out of a really old wine testing book. And as you can see right here, this is from December 1945. And it came out of I think it came out of the Better Homes and Gardens too, even though it's about recipes. So anytime I could save a date, I did. And this one, the date kind of got cut off right there, but it's 1946 also. And, you know, just some more along the way here. Restyling a 1910 bungalow. That was pretty cool, huh? And just different things. I trimmed this bird out of an old vintage nature type book. And this music sheet is from the early 1900s. Okay. All right, so this is 3 out of 5. This is 4 out of 5. Believe it or not, this is my husband's favorite. I said, do you like this? He said, yeah, I like the old vintage paper. This paper and this paper here is very old. And again, we have some of the Better Homes and Gardens and this old music sheet again. But yeah, this is very old. This floral here was a big doily, and I separated all the flowers, and I got like 40 flowers out of the deal. Right here, you can see another flower from a doily. I did the same thing, and here's some old vintage lace that came out of the big haul of laces that I got a while back. And this is just a piece of an old doily I'm cutting with, or cutting on. And here's a small doily that I cut apart also. And then just a pink doily that I've been using the ones I've been working on. So yeah. All right, so that's number 4. This is number 5. If you notice, I'm trying to kind of get a color scheme here so you have a little bit of different colors. This is number 5 out of 5s. I cut out all these old hearts out of an old flower book. Here, not hearts, but roses. Here is a corner of an old doily that I'm cutting on right now. Here's a big piece of vintage lace. And this is off an old handkerchief that was very old. The yellow trim was around the outside of the handkerchief. So yeah, just here's some more of the old music sheet. So I hope you like my new digitals to start with. This is just the beginning. I hope to be able to release some ever so often. And it will be more in the beginning than in the end. I can't decide which one I like best. I think mine is the bird, but I also like all of them. So I'm anxious to get started using these. I'm going to copy these on some paper that is just copy paper so I can start tearing and making sure I get to use them and show you how beautiful they can be. All right, so let's get started on our book. Now, we left off, I'll tell you right now, this book is still thick, okay? And this is where we're at. Now, I'm trying to get it where it's not so bulky, but I don't think there's really a way. So this is what we did. Let's see, we did this one the other day. Decided we wouldn't put anything on there. I did put this doily on. I did do this flip out with a time card. And I did add the butterfly. So mostly this is just, it was just collage. Now the last page we did, I'm going to take these out and show you. I made these little embellishments to put in here. I thought it would be a fun one for a family photo, and so I decided I would do some embellishments on this. We have a pocket here, we have a pocket here, and here. Okay, so I thought I'd start off with a book page folded in half, and this has got old vintage lace, couple of those little circle doilies, flowers, and it's got muslin behind the picture. Now, this is a picture of 3 little girls, although this one could questionably be a boy, but I'm calling him a girl because he looks like a girl to me. And I did stamp down here sisters. Now, I kind of have a theme going here. This I collaged underneath, and then I flipped it over and collaged on the back where you could journal. I made this for this upper right hand pocket here. Now this is one of my vintage doilies right here. And it will eventually be released. But I just wanted to use it. So this goes right there. And I tried to do it as flat as I could. Well, then the next step is the sisters on a cruise ship. And I stamped sisters. We got some old vintage lace, muslin, and I did collage behind it. So this is the sisters when they're older. This is my story. And then we've got the back collage for journaling. Now, this is going to go in this pocket right here, because that's the sisters living it up. Okay, and then later there's the sisters, or sometime or another, there's the sisters and parents. And so this is the mother and father, and this is the 3 sisters on a guest check. I bet they never thought. And then you can also journal on the back of that. So that is how I decorated this one. Since it had such a variety going on, I decided it would be fun to use some of those pictures. Okay, now this side is done. So we're flipping over, And this is a single page here, so I thought we would fold this over and make it into a pocket. So we'll put these together and make it into a pocket. And then over here, I decided to fold over two, okay? And I decided to do it this direction and make this the pocket, and this will lead into the next page. Now, this is that's different. We haven't done that, and I'm always trying to come up with something different. And so it'd be a great little pocket for something. So that way we'll have two pockets. We'll have this one and then this one. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and glue this paper over here around the edges before I do anything else. So we're just going to put a lot of glue down here. Let me make sure you can see. Okay. Now this is where we're going to stop it right there. Okay. And then we're going to come over here and glue this portion down. Okay. And we're going to bring this one over so that we can dry it as flat as possible here. I should have really did this before I got on camera, but I thought, man, I'm never going to get my video done today if I don't stop and do it. I just have been so busy. Okay. I'm really behind on everything I'm doing right now. And that's okay. I'll get it done when I get it done. I just have been trying to get these two books made, and I really, well, not a book thing. Well, I guess it is a book. Kind of a folio book that I'm doing for my design team project. You guys saw me make that. Now, I'm going to try to get it decorated today and get started on it a little bit. So, there is that one. And I think I've got them glued down pretty good. Now, one thing we do need to do is put a hole or a half moon circle punch. Let me make sure it's centered. Okay. I don't know how centered it's going to be, but we'll see. That's close enough, huh? The little hole went down inside, so there's a little bonus in there for whoever. Okay, now over here, I want for us not to glue this page straight down. But first I want to glue these two pages together here so that they're folded over as one. And you're probably thinking, why are you doing that? Well, I'm doing it because I'm doing two sheets because I want it stronger. Plus, you know, the book it just seems like it's not ever getting, you know, down to a normal size. I'm not really concerned about it. If it doesn't, we'll just tear some out and figure it out as we go along. So I'm just going to tear our pages out a little more often, probably, is what it will amount to. Now, so this is down, and you can see where it's folded here and everything, and that's all right. Now what I want to do, and I'm going to turn this so everybody can see it. So we've got it like this right now. So I'm going to glue this side right over here so that it will make our pocket. And go ahead and use the stronger glue. Okay. I got to remember how far to go. I'm not quite sure. Oh, I got a little ways more. I should have marked it. Okay. And I can always add more. That's kind of how I look at it. We can always add more. And of course, it's oozing right where the spine is. But I'm going to hold it down for a second and let it just get all the excess out. And then I'll come back by and wipe it off. I just don't want, when we close the pages, for it to be... I'm just wiping it with my fingers right now. to get the excess amount off. And yeah, and let this dry just a second while we decide what's next. I'm going to use, I believe I chose to do some blues. And let me get this all taken care of real quick. Got a little bit at the top. I just don't want, when I close it, for it to stick. So quite a bit leaked out here, so I'm going to go ahead and get that off while I can. And it's not super bad up here on this part. I'm trying to rub it with my fingers because, you know, sometimes you can just rub it off and it will roll up in little glue balls. Filled up the spine with little glue balls. I'm trying to get those out. Okay, so that's good enough right there, but I'm going to get these out of our way. Okay, so now we've got everything glued. So now what we need to do is decide on paper. So I'm going to bring the paper over that I thought we could work with. And I thought I was going to work with blue today. For some reason, I'm looking to see if I have it. That's an Artie Mays. Now this is a old doily that are embroidery and lace that I'm going to be having as a digital once upon a time, one of these days. I'm grabbing out some of the antique papery pages that have blue in them. And I'm just really wanting to work with blue, whether it's mixed with pink or yellow or whatever. I'm not sure which one's going to be which here. Okay, but I thought we might be able to use this somewhere. Maybe even along this portion of the page over here, because this will not have anything on top of it. And we could take this and put on the top. Sounds like something we can do if we decide to. I'm just going to trim this blue off, just in case we do decide to. Now this is cardstock. I have it printed on. This was one of my, one of the rejects I did, you know, because I didn't have it lined up like I wanted. Listen, it takes a long, long time to do digital kits and get them scanned. You have to scan every one. You have to put them in different kinds of, whether it's a zip file or a PNG or JPEG or whatever. That all takes a long time. And you have to take pictures of each one, and then you have to, you know, it just a lot you have to do. But thankfully Etsy has it set up pretty good for you to do that. So you don't have to try to figure it out completely. I mean, you can always Google anything you need to find out, or you can go to Etsy and ask them. I like this side seems a little bit smaller. I think it's because I may have cut it bigger, I mean. I'm going to cut it off right here so we can have it ready for later. And I think what I did was I got too far out from the... So we'll just get a little closer in this section here. There. Okie doke. Okay, now. All right, so that's done. Now, I thought on this side we would use part of this doily You know, so I'm thinking, let's get the tear tool out. I don't want to use those scissors for everything. So I'm going to go like this. And get as close as I can to the embroidery. Yes, there we go. Now, we want to center this. And I'm going to cover this top portion, so I'm not going to worry about it being straight, because my little lace I just took off will go that way. I think that's going to be cute. So now we want to, let's see, this book is about 9 inches, I think. It's 9 1/4 in height. And so this paper is like 11, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to, at 5 1/2, I'm going to try to find the center and go off the center as to how far out I go on each side. So I've got 9 1/4. That's not going to be as easy, but I really want to eyeball it and see. I think I know where the center is, and I do just by looking at it. I can tell. It's funny. This was a, I'm going to kind of go like this to mark it. Now I'm going to tear it so we can all see what's going on. Let's see. Let's turn it this way. Now we can go back the normal way. And we're going to tear this right there. Then we're going to tear this side right here. And really, I hate doing it that way. I like to put the smaller piece under the tear tool. It just seems easier to take it off, you know, than doing it the other way. Okay, so now we'll do like this. So the first thing I want to do is get this put down. Now that is a big piece to collage, right? And we've got some that's kind of sticking out. So I'm just gonna try to get it where it's not hanging off the edge of the page. And just a little bit up here. The bottom portion is fine. Okay. I like that this doesn't have to be perfect. I think that's one of the things I really like about it. Now, I am going to mark where we punched the circle for the little tab. Right there. And so what I can do is I can, you know, hold this up. Let's go this direction now. We're going to be all around this book before it's over with. Okay, so we're going to do it like this, and I'm not going to worry about how far down it goes. I'm going to bring it up a little bit. Okay, yeah, there we go. So this is going to be like this. We'll get it glued down. How perfect is that? That looks fun too. This old vintage trim. Now, we're going to have to poke that hole again, or not the hole, but the tab. This side, I guess I got a little bit long. So we'll try it like this. Now, while I've got this right here and I got it open, I'm going to go ahead and punch it so that whenever we get this on here, it'll definitely be in the right spot, right? So we'll find out about that, but I think it will. I think it will. I think it will. Now, this is the hard part, holding it and not letting it move and punching it at the same time. Okay. Whoops. Sorry. I am clumsy today. There we go. All right, now This is going to go here. This is going to go here. That's going to look cute. Now, the next thing we have to do, obviously, is glue that down. And so that's the next thing. I'm moving this stuff so I can get the glue book over here and go from there. All right. Just opened up a new glue stick. So that should help. And a new page that's all clean, because you know this is going to cover the whole book. So I'm going to see if you can see me. I'm going to do this first, and then I'm going to do around the edges on the dolly, or the embroidered. Looked like it was originally an old embroidered pillowcase. Well, this is the outside. This is not the inside where the pocket is. Remember, we glued this portion up. Okay, now I'm going to get around the edges really good on this glue book so we know it will stay down. Okay, now we'll do this side here. And it's going to have glue on the front because I'm laying it into the glue, but I think it will be fine. We'll have to rub it off. There's not much of a way to do it and not get glue on the edges. Okay, come off of this paper. We definitely won't be able to use this paper again. Okay. Move it off to the side. Now I'm going to turn it back this way again so I can get it even. Hope you guys can see okay. Let's see how we do it here. Okay, so looks like I was lining it up too far over. I was lining it up with the punch hole, but you know, it's hard to get those all those things perfect. I can feel the glue on here, so I'm kind of rubbing it. You want to get the edges down first because otherwise it can come loose. Now, as you can see, I'm off here a little bit on this side. But I'm not going to worry about that because it's just a tiny bit. And, you know, we can see paper inside the spine area. So I would rather do that than not have my pocket lined up here. Now I'm going to pinch down this top portion and make sure that it's glued down. It's going to have some glue squeezed down inside there, which means we want to use our glitter glue because it has that small tip. Now this is going down because we want this to stay glued right here, right? Because this is right on the pocket. So, yeah. We want to make sure we're not gluing the pages together. Okay, now I got to wipe that off so I can do the other side. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. Well, at least it's Monday here. You know, I've had some people bring to my attention that it's different days where they're at, which is it's great how the whole thing works, you know, around the world. Okay, except when you're traveling, then it's not so cool. All right. This side is staying, it looks like. So maybe, let me look here and see. I want to make sure this pocket is, yeah, it is. It's down. All right, so that wasn't so hard, huh? Now we got to put the lace or the ribbon. It's actually, looks like a crocheted lace that was on the trim of the, now this is going to go right here. And it looks like it's going to be just fine. As far as it being in the same spot as the dolly. Okay. Now, I'm going to hold this up where we can center this, push it all the way up so it goes over the first layer of paper. And it did. I'm so glad I ran up on this. You know, I'm always digging in something. I don't even remember where I had it, but I had it where it was useful. I thought, I wonder what this would look like on a long pocket in the book. And now we know. And we'll ink all of that at some point. Now I'm going to turn this. And on this side, I really like this Artie Mays blue. And I like the way it looks up against that. What do you think? I tell you what we should do. We should put it on this page over here and cover part of that page, at least this portion. So this is what we'll see down here. Now this is going to be, let me think for a minute. It's going to be on the other side if we do that. Let me see what other papers I have with some blue. How about this one? This would go with the doily. Nice. See? Right here. We could put this up here to go like inside the pocket. And then we could actually bring it all the way down. Except we want to tear all this first. Let's get it torn. And then we'll decide. We can just kind of connect it, is what I'm saying. If we decide that's what we want to do. And let's tear right here too while we're at it. I should tear these ahead of time. I don't think about it. But that way you don't have to. But I really didn't know what I was going to do. And a lot of times that's how it is. Like I didn't plan anything special for this part. Okay, so see, this can go up here. And I'm going to mark with the pencil how far up we need to go on this in order for it to tuck under okay. Okay, so we're going to do like that. I want to bring down the top a little bit. And needs to go down this far right here. So I'm going to tear that first of all. Okay. I do recommend that when you do these books, you use the copy paper thinness, the thin copy paper. Your colors won't be as bright and brilliant, but they'll look alike. But see, this is cardstock, and so it's heavier, and you know, it will bulk up your book a little bit more. So that's my reasoning behind that. Okay, so this is like here. Now I want to tear off the edge. If I can see where the edge is, right in here. Okay, so that's nice. Let's get it glued down. Let me move this old paper that has glue all over it. That'll keep sticking to. Let me fold it in half and put it up. I try to put a little bit of glue on those so that when I get ready to take it out, it's pretty much done, because it helps. Okay, now let's see here while I'm thinking about it. Wait a minute, we're going to do it like this. How do we want to tuck this under? See, we're going to have to tear in this little corner a little bit. And that will go down without any problems, hopefully. Okay. Kind of making it like a pocket where it just kind of stuffs down in there. And we do it on this inside, it'll look better than doing it on the outside. But the outside wants some attention too. So we're going to give it to them. All right, now let's see. Let's get some glue on this. Come on now. Quit folding over. All right, come on. I'm always afraid this is going to dry too much before I get it down, and then I just end up gluing it back down. Okay. So, yeah, that looks good. Now, we could put this down here, on here, but I don't know that I like it that much down there. What do you guys think? Because this is where the pocket is. We could just, or we could go back to this. I think I want to do this and put the blue on the other page. I think that's what we should do. So, I'm going to get the tear tool out. Tear about right here. Then we can see how much down, how much further down we need to go with it, because it's going to fold back. All right, I'm going to turn this book kind of at an angle here so I can tear in the right spot. All right, right here. All right, now we could put this under here. I think that will look good like that. That way it's all in sync with the same color. Yes, it's all matchy-matchy. That's what it would be, is matchy-matchy. I'm going to trim a little bit of this that's sticking up. Okay, so we're going to put this one on for sure. Whoops. Get over there. Okay. Come off my fingers. All right, so we're going to do it right here, all the way over to the right as much as we can to get the pocket. Now, right here, where's my, I'm going to have to tear a little bit more right here, and I think I'm just going to use my fingers because it's still wet, and it will just cooperate better. I think I'll go under, and then I can always trim it if I need to, right? All right, I don't know how that happened, but it did. Sometimes you can be going along and thinking everything's perfect, and then, nope. Okay, now we're going to tear the bottom portion right here. I'm just leaving it on the paper or on the book. And yeah, see, that's going to look good. And I think we need to put something down here that will be kind of decorative for this side. I'm just trying to think of what it would be. Oh, I know what it could be. I have some of these really cute. I don't know if they've got any blue in them. I think it's just pink and I don't guess it really matters. So I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to put this in this corner so that everything coordinates as best as possible. See, this one little portion wants to come out here and not cooperate. Let's get this over first, right there. Come up from there. There we go. Yeehaw! I'm going to add a little bit of ink around this. I forgot to ink the pocket portion right here, so I'm going to do a little bit right now, but it's going to get on, it'll probably end up getting on other things too. But I'm going to go ahead and ink this down here. I just stuck my hand in the glue stick and it just fell over. Shock. Shock, shock. Okay, so we'll just do that part for now, but you know what we did forget to do over here? We forgot to glue this together. You know what? We could put a pocket right here. See, sometimes mistakes just help you out. Let's do that. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll glue across this top, and then we'll make this a pocket. But first, while this is lifted up, let's put a little punch right here and hope that we're in the center as close as possible. There we go. Perfect. Let me take this little edge off right here. Okay, let me go ahead and hit it with some ink. Okay, go ahead and hit this with some ink since we're right there, right? I'm not worrying about the ink being in places. I like the combination, so that's good. Now, we'll go ahead and add, so it can be drying, we'll go ahead and add the, I'm trying to get all this stuff out of my way so I can listen to it. It just keeps falling. The ink dauber tool applicator and the glue stick won't stay up. They're going to be grounded if they don't cool it. They're driving me crazy. Okay, so now we're going to glue this book page down. I kept thinking, am I forgetting something? Yes, obviously I am. So, put this right there. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue right over here next to where the top of the pocket will be. That way we know it doesn't flip back into the other portion. Okay, now we're gonna like lay it down on top of that. Get that portion down. I love how the pages like to flip up, don't you? They calm down a little further into the book you get, but still it's because of the glue stick. I mean, glue stick will make the paper and stuff, you know, not cooperate. Lift this portion up. Okay, so this is going to be on this will be the next page we work on over here. Let me see what we've got going here. All right, so now we will have this portion to be a pocket too. All right, let's get it back to some kind of normal. All right, I'm just making sure all of it's sticking down. Okay, now while that's drying a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and ink over here across this pocket on our pretty bright white doily. Or pillowcase, I think is what it was. That's what it looks like. I've got a lot of things that have different designs on them that I plan on, you know, at some point. Got a lot of doilies, different color doilies and styles, different styles. there is how it's going to end up. I think I like the way it looks there. Now, we could put something across here as some kind of trim too. Now, we don't have any more of this doily, but I'm thinking, now this is bright. I haven't inked it yet. I'm thinking it can go down here, or it can go up here. This part right here needs to be trimmed. I think these were meant to be, I think they were meant to be like tags. But now if we put it right here, we're going to have to cut it off some. I'm thinking, guys, I'm sorry. Or we could put it here and cut it off in this section. Now I'll ink this up and we'll decide after I ink it if we like the way it looks. Now I do know that we'll end up cutting some off on the edge because I don't like to flip something that's made out of cardstock over. If it were a regular doily, it'd be one thing. But see, I'm already taking the bright off of it. You can see the streaks, but that's okay. I kind of did that up here too, so this doily didn't look so white. I got a thing about that. Okay, now I'm thinking right here. I'm going to get these little scissors because I'm going to mark how far out we want this to go. And we'll just trim it with these because I know I'll be more accurate. And I can keep trimming little bits at a time if I need to. Yep, that's perfect. Now we got to ink that part because it doesn't look good on there. I think this is okay, don't you? I think it looks all right on here, and it gives some more blue. Just trying to pull that blue back in. Okay, so we're going to ink this up really good. Now, as far as decorations for this page, I didn't even know what I was going to do for the last page, and I've been wanting to use those photos that I decided was sisters for a while now. I thought, if I can't keep it down with it being cardstock, I'll just add some glue under it. Yes. Right over there is wanting to. Now let me see how much time we have. We're at 53 minutes. So what I would say is we'll pull it to a stop here in a second and pick up here tomorrow. Now, I've been doing the embellishments and putting them in as I have time. We may have to do the embellishments next time. And I think that's okay. I think it's fun to do the embellishments. I want you guys to learn different ways of doing different embellishments. So we'll probably do them for this. I've got everything inked. And this will be the next page. Let's see if it folds up properly. No, of course, it's not going to be a pretty fold. We'd be afraid for that to happen, huh? I wonder if we glued this up here with it. Yes. Yeah, the fold will be better if we do that. So, I'm thinking now, well, what do we need to do down here? You know, what could we do down here? I'll glue it off camera. It's not a big deal. And then we can start over here after we decorate this side. I'm thinking. We could do... I guess we could do an upside down, some kind of thing being tucked up in there. I don't know. What do you guys think? Think about it. Let me know in the comments. I am going to glue the top portion over to that portion, no matter what, you know, because we'll have to. And then we can just go from there on what we need to do to what we can tuck under here. Maybe we could do a square, another one of these, decorate it, and then maybe do it like this and then tuck it up under like this. Because I'm only going to glue from here up. And we'll see. I'll look at it ahead of time before we do it. And then we'll decide if, you know, it will look good or if it'll work. So I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. I'm going to work on, I got to spend the rest of my afternoon working on my design team book. Because then I have another really cool one I want to get done. So just constantly, my brain has to constantly move like a Ferris wheel or something. Round and around she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows, not even her. All right, guys, welcome to all my new subbies. And thank you guys. We're at 1470, which is getting us closer to, you know, the rainbow book, which we need to work one of those pages into. I think we have one more page to do. And then I've got to get to work also on making that book. I have no idea how I'm going to make a book that thick. So that will be a shock to see what we end up coming up with on that. So, all right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. I hope you guys have a great evening. See you next time. Bye.